and I'm a plastic surgeon here in Beverly Hills. And Raquel is a patient of mine, and I've recently followed her and what she's been doing with some of this astrology. And I was like, we've got to get you into the office and get this and check this out. And so she offered to kind of read my charts, I guess is what we said. And so that's kind of what we're here to do. But what do I know?
Yeah.
I don't really know anything. I know that, like, you know, what we all read about in the papers and stuff like that, and sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes like this could kind of apply to everybody. So, but the stuff I've been seeing you do is really awesome. It's like so in depth and very accurate, and so I was like, this would be really cool to get you in and here in my own operating room, which is I guess this can be done anywhere. Yeah. And go over it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So with your chart, and what you know is probably when we talk about sun signs.
Okay.
It's what you read about in the paper. When you check your horoscope, it's your sun sign. But what this entire thing is your entire astrological natal chart.
Okay.
So this goes deeper. Your sun sign is your basic behavior traits, but this goes a little bit deeper into like what I call your cosmic DNA.
Okay.
So your sun is Leo.
Yes.
Yes. So you're Leo's sun. And you know, Leos are the lions of the zodiac. So this is going to be someone who's brave. You're going to be courageous. Leadership roles work well for you. Leos are heart chakra based.
Okay.
So it's all about like loving, feeling good. That's your energy that is most operative for you as a Leo. And you're kind of created essentially to be bringing people together.
Wow.
So Leo's a fire sign, and it's kind of like a bonfire that everyone can gather around, and you're like, look what I'm doing, this is great.
That's awesome.
So you're ruled by the sun. Leo's ruled by the sun, which makes you bright and you love to shine.
Yes.
So does that like resonate so far?
It does. It's so much so that I know like I have to like compensate a little bit, you know, being a doctor and things like that. You have to, being in medicine. Yeah. I've noticed that like I'm very fiery energy, but like sometimes I have to like consciously tone it down.
Well, I'm not sure that you're actually fully able to after looking at your whole chart. So
I try. I don't know.
So
it could be kind of. I know it could be kind of off-putting to some people, you know, and it's like you don't want to be too aggressive and too strong around everybody, you know. So it's tough as a doctor because I'm here to take care of people and I'm here to help people, and so you know I have to try and balance that, and so I don't even know if it's even worth it, you know. To try. But.
Well, your nurturing nature, and we'll touch on that a little bit, is also in your chart.
Okay.
So your chart is amazing.
Okay, cool.
And that kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about is so you're Leo sun, but your rising sign, which is how people view you, is also Leo.
Oh, wow.
So when your sun and your rising are the same, it means you were born at the time of sunrise. So, you know, on August 11th, when the sun came up that day, you came with it.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the theme, essentially, of your life, which is rising.
I just got chills right now, you guys.
Rising to the occasion, showing up every day like the sun does for us every day, showing up every day and shining, because you shining is going to enable everyone else to.
Wow.
So when you're being successful, especially as a surgeon, and bringing that to your patients, you're helping them shine as well. And then also within the industry, I'm sure you're very inspirational to other surgeons.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that because people ask me like, why do I do this? And it's I am very passionate about plastic surgery, but the main reason why is because it really gives me the ability to help these other people that have these insecurities or help them work through things that they don't feel confident about their body. And so that's honestly what drives me. It's not money, it's not ego. I can't stand, you know, be able to drive in the fancy cars in town. I'm just like, to me, I just get excited to come to work, see my post-op patients, see you, see everybody, and see how like successful and happy they are in their life, that I helped contribute to that in a little bit of a way. So that kind of gave me chills because I was like, wow, that's so spot on.
This is you. And so this is where your chart work got really fun for me as the astrologer to look at your chart, because you have not only one, not only two, not only three, not even four, but 5 of your main planets in the sign of Leo.
Oh, wow.
So
Like
you
I'm like
are
pure Leo.
embodiment of Leo. And so
Okay.
in astrology, we call that a stellium. Stelliums are rare, and not everyone is fortunate enough to have a stellium. Stelliums are kind of sought after because it's a huge amount of energy. And this is Leo energy we're talking about. So again, it's that bravery and courage. So basically for you, your Mercury, which is how you communicate,
Okay.
your Jupiter, which is about luck and abundance and expansion, and your Venus, which is love and beauty, those are all highly involved in the sign of Leo. And so what that means, first and foremost, is that you're in alignment. How you talk, what you like, what you look for, how you grow, how people view you, and what you output into the world, it's all the same.
Wow.
So you're like so authentic to your core. That's just who you are. So you're going to be like the least fake person that people can come across because it's all in alignment.
Yeah.
You don't have planets conflicting with each other. It's just all Leo.
Wow.
And so in astrology, what that also tells us is that you're probably someone who's lived a lot of lives. Your soul is very old, and you've gained a lot of knowledge and expertise along the way.
Is that like, are we talking like reincarnation, or is it talking like my life?
It's talking about like your soul's journey.
Okay.
So like maybe to say that your soul has been in other lifetimes.
Okay.
And you acquired so much, and now you're here, and now you're like sharing these gifts because your soul has learned it along the way. Now, so with you, it's like what you see is what you get. You're like a straight shooter.
Yes.
I know that personally from working with you, but this is also where your integrity is going to come from, the Leo stellium. Leos are very proud, but it's because they're righteous.
Okay.
And it's because, but it's because they are doing things correctly.
Okay.
So it's like you're allowed that because you are completely correct in everything you're doing and saying.
That's cool because I want to touch on that a little bit because people ask me, why do I put stuff out there on my social media a lot? For some of you guys that know me, if you don't, I talk about some of the techniques and the procedures that I do with plastic surgery because I really think it's the best way to do certain procedures. Dealing with capsule contracture, dealing with how to do breast augmentation without capsule contracture. I put it all out there. I share, just like you said, and I had no idea where that really came from. And to me, I think it's just an altruistic nature that just came from me, from the wisdom of doing this all the time. I want to raise the bar for plastic surgery across the board, and that's why I share it and I put it out there for other surgeons, like you said, and also for patients so they can kind of educate themselves. So
yeah, and I think you're doing a really good job of that. And
Thank
even
you.
this is like being totally sharing of your energy, which is great, and we appreciate it. I know I have a lot of friends that are really excited to see you today.
Yes.
So now all of this Leo energy, this Leo stellium, it lives in your first house.
Okay.
So all this Leo energy has to live somewhere in your life, right?
Yes.
It lives in the first house, which is the house that rules appearance, identity, our sense of self, how we come off to others, how other people view us, and how we look. It's how we present to the world.
Okay.
So of course, a surgeon like you, who's so amazing, is going to have most of your energy living in that area because that's kind of what you do in your work.
Right.
So it couldn't make more sense. And with this Leo energy being in the first house, this is applying dignity to the aesthetic world.
Okay.
So this is like, yes, we care about how we look, but with dignity and pride, and we're not like overdoing it. Like you're actually doing it in a way that is like a Leo integrity, because you have all that integrity. So this is all living in your first house. Now what's also interesting is that you have Venus, the planet of love and beauty, in the first.
Okay.
Venus in the first, if you guys have it, you know it. It is the planet of beauty and love, but also having Venus in the first house is someone who, like, needless to say, like, their aesthetic is just on point.
Okay.
So Venus in the first, we're talking like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Kourtney Kardashian.
Wow.
We're also talking Andy Warhol and Gerard Butler and Jude Law, and also Audrey Hepburn even.
Interesting.
Yeah. So these are people that it's a marker of beauty, really, and it's physical beauty, but also like deeper identity. Like your identity is beautiful. So you have a really strong resonance with beauty.
Well,
It's
that makes sense. I mean, it really makes sense. Honestly, it's like I walk into a room, if something's crooked, I'm like, I can't deal with it. I was like, I gotta fix it, and it's stuff that other people don't notice. And I think that's hard with plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery. Is not only do you have to have the skill and the expertise and all the school and all the training, but it's gotta really look good. That's the difference between like an average plastic surgeon and a really good plastic surgeon. And I'm not here to boast about myself, but it's just like you kind of have to have an eye for stuff, which is really cool because I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah,
That's
so this
awesome.
this is his Venus
I'm
in the
very
first.
thankful.
It's your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Also, Lana Del Rey, Katy Perry, and Angelina Jolie,
Okay.
Venus in the first.
Wow.
So these would probably be like ideal clients, even like a look that you like. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
you know. So you recognize that, you see it, and for you, it's more like poetry in motion. It's like where it's organic for you. Now, I also want to talk really quickly about Venus, and Venus goes retrograde every 19 months. We just got out of a Venus retrograde
Okay.
this fall that felt really intense. Now, they say not to get any type of surgery during a Venus retrograde. But I wanted to speak on this, you guys, because I had my surgery with Dr. Barrett in the middle of a Venus retrograde in 2017.
Oh my goodness.
And I did it because he's the best, and he's so good, you guys, that he can literally weather any retrograde.
Wow.
What other surgeon could do that? Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, like fear not, come in and work with him, and feel free to like book with him and get it on the books, because I did it and it was like life changing in the best way possible.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that. You didn't give me,
No.
there's no pressure. That I didn't know this at the time. So
Yes.
okay. Well,
So
no pressure.
so I came in during the Venus retrograde to him, and I mean, obviously results like speak for themselves. Like I couldn't be happier. So,
Yeah.
you know, with the Venus in the first, I feel like you shared a little bit of that energy with me during that procedure that we had.
Yes.
And it's great. I get to enjoy it now. So
Good.
now,
That's what I live for, so
yeah,
that's
of
awesome.
course. And so now that we know that like his aesthetic is on point and not going anywhere, I want to pivot a little bit, and I want to ask you now, have you ever invented anything or introduced like new technique into your work or into your field?
Yeah, you know, it's I was the first to adopt certain things for breast surgery, like the Keller funnel, which is a in fact, I actually, let me grab you one. I'll show you. It's like, you know, this is like a little medical device that everybody was like, everybody's like, this is too expensive. I know we're getting a little off topic, but like this is something like, okay, this guy came by, he was talking about this funnel. I was like, I did a little research on it, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. This lets us keep our incision really, really tiny, and it's like baking a cake. The implant goes in and it's really, really tiny. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Why isn't every surgeon using it? I started using it. I noticed the capsular contracture rate went down, okay? Literally a study just came out about 12 months ago that links this to 50% reduction in capsular contracture. If you know anything about implant surgery, that's one of the main complications that can happen with breast augmentation surgery, as you're well aware. And so I was one of the first adopters of it, and I got criticized for it because they're like, oh, this costs so much money. I was like, you know what? What is it cost? You're not here to buy a car, right? You're here to get surgery. You know, this is your body. You can't, why spare any expense? Let's reduce the risk of capsular contracture. So that was one thing that I brought into Beverly Hills. I was one of the first adopters. I put it out there, now everybody uses it, which I feel great about, because if we can lower the rate of capsular contracture, we can lower the rate of complications, decrease incision size, people are going to be more happy about their plastic surgery, you know, and they're going to be happier about the results.
Yeah, and I feel an operative word that you just used was first.
Yeah.
Because your moon, which talks about your internal self, what you really feel, where you feel secure and safe, and where you really like to be. Your moon is in Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, you guys. So
nice.
Aries energy is all about being highly driven, motivated. They are the initiators of the zodiac. That's how we talk about Aries. They're the initiators. So to have your moon in Aries, you're going to be a self-starter, and you're going to be super sufficient. And so for you, this is like your internal self. This is like what's really real for you. So this is going to be you're most happy and secure internally when you're taking action.
Okay.
A life of no action for you is like it's not going to happen. Like it's not going to work, you know?
I totally agree. Like if I'm not moving around doing something, it's really hard for me. Like when I go on vacation, we were just talking about Maui, and when my wife and I we were pregnant with our first daughter, we went to Maui as a baby moon, and it was the first vacation where I actually stayed at the hotel for like a limited period of time, and we didn't go anywhere. And I was kind of like, it was okay because my wife was pregnant, but internally I was like, oh, this is kind of, you know, we need to get going. So, like, we did like one excursion. We did the road to Hana. If you've ever been to Maui, you could do the road to Hana, and that was pretty much it. There's more stuff to do, I know, but to me, I like the big island where you could go scuba diving, you could do all those other volcano tours, you know, that was kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of hard for me to slow down.
I'm
on that
sure
chart.
with the moon in Aries. So also too, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important would you say learning and education is for you and has been in your life?
It's a 10.
Okay.
It's 100% 10 because it's like I have a stack of like 15 books next to my desk. My nightstand at home, and I'm like, every time I go to bed, I'm like, I just need to read. I need to learn more. And it's like everything from management to learning how to do triathlons to Giselle's book. You know, the supermodel Giselle. She wrote a book. I've been checking that one out. I just want to learn as much as possible, and I want to improve as a surgeon and as a person, but I also want to know more stuff. You know, it's cool.
The reason why I think all that is because upon looking at your chart, your moon in Aries is located in the 9th house, which is the house of higher education, learning, higher knowledge,
I know all about that.
Expansion and growth. So that's where your moon lives. So your internal self, who you really are, needs to be in that 9th house, learning and growing and expanding. So, you know, 9th house also talks to us about, with Aries being in the 9th house, it talks about where we talk about like taking initiative and bringing your ideas, bringing your internal stuff into a space where others can learn from you. That's just going to be something that you're going to do your whole life.
That's great. I mean, I never really understood that. Like, a lot of other people, my wife doesn't do that. Like, other people, they don't read as much. And I was like, doesn't everybody do this? And I guess not. You know,
no, not everyone does it. But I think we thank you for all of that action that you do take in that area. Also, this is going to be where a little bit of your competitive nature comes in. Now, it's important to mention in your chart, you're competitive but not combative. And there's a very big difference, and I feel like sometimes people think Aries energy could be combative. But it's not, it's just competitive. But this is going to be what got you to where you are. It's going to be what your strength, where your strength was anchored in when you did have to go through all that schooling and you did have to, like, you know, when you got criticized, whatever. It's the moon in Aries that's like, no, I'm doing this. It's happening. So that's where that comes from for you.
That's awesome. I mean, again, it goes. I am very super competitive. I compete. I compete with, like, you know, if I'm walking down the sidewalk, I got to walk faster a little bit, and it's weird. And not, you know, so that's why I told myself. That's why I moved to LA. To be honest. Because I was either New York or LA, and I was like, if I move to New York, I'm gonna have a heart attack because everybody else is there is probably Aries in the 9th house too. You know? So I was just like, I gotta tone it down a little bit. So, but yeah, I've never been combative about it, but it's just always this internal drive, and now I know where it comes from.
So this is Aries in the 9th, and so is it safe to say that we can continue to expect from you innovation in the field of plastic surgery?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, constantly trying to learn and try to do new things and perfect the art.
So this is what you want in a surgeon, guys. Like, this is like literally the embodiment of a surgeon who's always learning, but then really motivated and driven. So now we're gonna shift gears a little bit. So I'm curious, Dr. Barrett, when you were young, you were a young kid. Did you ever get like picked on for the way that you looked, or did you ever see other children getting picked on or something to that effect where you were empathizing with people not looking a certain way, being like having issues because of it?
So I remember in grade school, there's a couple kids that were not as popular, and I would see them get picked on, and I would, I could handle myself, and I would see them get picked on. I would go over and like push the bullies away. Like, why are you messing with him? And so I got called to the principal's office. I got detention, for trying to help out, some other people that were getting bullied, really. And I don't know why, it just kind of naturally came to me that, like, hey, that's not right,
Right. So the reason I ask without having any context is because I know that something like that probably happened, and I know that because Chiron is in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career, and Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer. Chiron shows us where people have been hurt and experienced the most pain. That's where they can actually help the most and be of service to others the most. So I knew that for sure. There was an innate desire within Dr. Barrett to want to make this his career, where he's quite literally helping people maybe get over pain or trauma that might be associated with their physical vessel, or maybe people who got in trouble, or people, whatever happened with them, it's deeply rooted. And so sometimes for people, being able to heal that part of themselves physically, if you were someone who was bullied or made fun of, or if you just don't like the way that you look, like, that's a real thing. You don't have to have trauma to not be comfortable in your skin. And so maybe you saw pain and struggle at a younger age, and you kind of made it your thing. It's like your desire to be expressed in a way that's helping people.
No, I mean, I have a hard time. I have a hard time seeing anybody suffer, and it pains me more than other people. And even when I watch like movies like Borat, I know this is crazy, you know, and they're like these people get punked. It's hilarious. I know, like, but when I see these awkward situations where people are put through these, like, you know, there's a joke being made out of them, I feel bad for them. I can't even watch it. So it's like that, and some of my other friends weren't like that, and I'm just like, why is that? I know this is a just distant example, but I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
If I see an animal, a hurt animal, or a hurt person, or anything like that, you know, I'm deeply affected, and I've noticed it's more so than other people.
Yeah, and even I know you love plants as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a little bit in this is like it's biology, right? Any living thing, you want it to be healed and good and happy.
Yeah.
So that's.
I still have your plant, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I gave him a plant, a succulent, over
It's in
a
my
year
kitchen.
ago, and it's still alive. So
Yes.
see, yeah.
That's in the picture.
But so why I wanted to point this out to you though is because your healthy ego lives here, and the thing about this is like you're a perfectionist, and it's because this is not only your passion, but like this is your mission.
Yeah.
This is really like your life's work. It's what you're here to do.
That's cool.
So with Kieran being the wounded healer, it's like you're a surgeon, but you're also a healer. And you're helping people look the way they want to look and feel the way they want to feel. So it actually goes a lot deeper.
Wow.
And as a patient, I can tell you, like, it did for me. And I see a lot of the surgeries that he does and I will comment and I'll write to you. I'm like, you just changed that person's life.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. That's what you're
I know,
doing.
and I appreciate that. I sometimes forget. I go and I do a mommy makeover. I help a mom get her body back after she's had 5 kids, dedicated her life to, you know, her children, and then now she wants to do something good so she can get out to the beach, she can get out to Maui and look good, you know. So but I forget that sometimes. To me, you know, it's like every single surgery, every single consult that comes in, I'm like, I always remind myself, it's like, this is this person's first time, and I'm going to make the best difference I possibly can for each and every patient who comes in. So, but thank you for those reminders, because that
Oh my God, no,
really
of
helps me
course.
reset.
Literally changing lives over here in Beverly Hills, you guys.
Yeah.
Now, another question is, how would you describe your bedside manner with your patients?
I think it's exemplary, and I don't know why. Because when most doctors, their bedside manner is horrible, especially the better doctors that are good, really good surgeons, it tends to, their skill goes way up and then their bedside manner goes way down. And so to me, it's frustrating that happens in medicine, that doctors aren't the best communicators. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, I've always been able to communicate and explain things kind of in a layperson sense for plastic surgery that my patients really appreciate, and they comment and they talk about. So much so that I don't think it's bias. I think that it actually really exists, and that my bedside manner is really good. I think it's because I put myself in their shoes. Every single person that comes in, I'm like, what would I want to really understand about this procedure, and what would I really want if I were coming in to get a procedure like this? So.
And I feel that was one of the first things that I had noticed about you is like, oh, he gets it.
Right.
I'm a Virgo, so I feel like no one gets it, but he gets it. And so when you say, I don't know why, I think I found it in your chart.
Okay, this is amazing. Let me see.
Mars, you guys, Mars is the planet of action. It's how we respond, how we react. It's how we're activated into the world. Your Mars is in the sign of Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's the mother of the zodiac. So this is nurturing, this is caretaking, this is devotion, all the things that we know of Cancers to be. This is how he's activating into the world. So this is a need to heal and help and repair, similar to how a mother would. It's why you're taking care of plants, and you're taking care of bodies, and you're taking care of people. It's so healing, it's so mothering.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, you guys, is that every sign rules a different part of the body. Cancers rule the breasts.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. So of all the plastic surgery, breast and body, breast surgeon right here. That's interesting. Wow.
So,
Okay.
a surgeon who specializes in breasts with a Mars in Cancer, like, you know, I don't make it up, you guys. Like, this is astrology.
Wow.
And you know, I think we've all seen your follow-up firsthand because you share it on your Instagram. And I feel like that is so amazing because it's letting people know I'm available for this.
Right.
And that's kind of how moms are, right? Like they're like letting us know, like, okay, honey, call me, or whatever they do. And so that's your nature.
Wow.
So it's really second nature for you to like go above and beyond the actual surgery and really like connect with your patients.
Right.
I mean, I got a Christmas card from Dr. Barrett, like, who does that? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean it's It's just like, I treat everybody like family. It's like I really care about the results, like, and I want to know how they're doing. And it's just like, to me, it's like I never ever want it to be just another transaction. And I think that's what you really need to look for. You need to find someone that's passionate about it and really cares about you. To me, I'm not really. That's what makes me happy. Is the end of the day is like you're living your life and you're moving on and you're happy with what we do. So.
And you're here to repair and you're here to comfort.
Yeah.
So that's Mars and Aries, really. And what's interesting also about this is that your Mars and Aries lives in your 11th house, which is the house of community and friendship, but also the house of technology.
Cool.
So your Mars in Cancer, you're bringing that nurturing, mothering vibe, but you're bringing tech with you.
Okay.
And you're bringing innovation with you.
Awesome.
And you're marching to the beat of your own drum in how you do things.
So I have to tell you this, guys. So when I was in college, I used to go around fixing people's computers. That's so funny because my first job was at a computer store, and I was just naturally good with computers. I went to like the computer service desk, and then I started building computers, and then and maybe it's from the many souls, I don't know. But then and then when I got to college, I would go around to people's dorms and fix I lost my term paper. Oh my God! So I go in and I'd find it, or it would be gone or whatever. But I was always good with technology. And I still am. I still have everything Mac, iPhone. I got the latest gadget.
Oh yeah. So technology is going to definitely be a big part of your life, but also your career.
Yeah.
So some people, they might have like a sensitive Mars, but they don't have like the backing of technology. So I think that makes you really, really stand out.
Cool.
And then as far as also being in the 11th house, you're also here to like touch the lives of many people.
Yeah.
It's not just like you and your circle or your own family. You're actually here to make, because this is the house of community, so we're talking community impact.
Right.
We're talking like almost on a societal level.
Right.
You're a natural humanitarian. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. Like, you get that. And so the lives that you're touching, it's going to be like insurmountable. Like, it's going to be, so you're creating a legacy is really what you're doing.
Well, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, maybe that technology comes in how I'm using social media to kind of spread awareness of procedures and explain things to patients, because you're right. I can, as a plastic surgeon, I can, like, if we're just confined to this office, I treat one patient one at a time. But, when I start to put it out there on social media, I'm kind of appealing to a wider community, and I never really thought about it that way, but that's just been something, a natural urge I've had. So
yeah, you're creating a big impact, and I think that the waves that you're making are going to be waves that other surgeons want to surf.
Great.
As well.
Awesome.
So that's really cool with your 11th house.
Love it.
And then just to wrap up, I just wanted to go into a part of your chart that I feel is one of my favorite parts about you as well, is that you're so open and sharing with your family and like your life and what your life actually looks like. And so you obviously have a beautiful wife and the cutest baby, and you guys both together like have beautiful family, and it's so nice to see that personal side of you.
Yeah.
So when I look to see someone's like personal life stuff like that, I look at the 4th house. This is the house of home and family. And your 4th house is completely ruled by the sign of Scorpio in your chart. And I was just wondering if you happen to know your wife's birthday or her sign.
She's a Scorpio. She's early November. November 13th. So she's Scorpio.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, so if you can
that
see...
That is eerie. You guys are getting chills right now. My wife's Scorpio, and
so if you can see right here, this is Scorpio. This is your 4th house.
Wow.
Now, what's beautiful about this is that your 4th house connects to your 11th, which is Gemini for you.
Okay.
And then, what is your daughter's birthday?
She's end of May.
So she's a Gemini.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So your family is in your chart.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's all like in here.
Wow.
And more than anything, what's really beautiful is that you have Uranus, which is the planet that talks to us about change and big shifts and transformation, stuff like that. You have Uranus in your 4th house. So what this tells me, Uranus represents your hidden genius. Okay. So your secret weapon is like your family and your love for your family.
Oh, wow.
And the energy that they provide to you, and being able to go home to the home that you go home to with the energy that you have there, that you've created for yourself, and also the family that you've clearly made in your office with your patients, and just in general. Yeah,
I guess that's true. I mean, I do treat everybody like family. I do have family is so important. You guys hear me talk about it. You see it on my Instagram. You see my daughter. I mean, that's so true. I think it's really important. I don't really know how to not treat people like family when they come in here. So
Yeah, well, I think it all really shows, and everything in your chart today was so fun to study.
that
and
is
so
incredible.
fun to discover.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys, Dr. Barrett, like I said, Leo stellium. So if you're shopping for a surgeon, really doesn't get better than this.
Wow, I don't know what to say, Raquel. I mean, this is amazing. You know, I can't think. This is unbelievable. The detail that you've done here is incredible and so on point. I'm like, I've got chills. I'm going to be thinking about this all night. So,
Yay.
thank you so much.
Of
for doing
course,
this.
you're
Yeah.
so very welcome.
How long have you been doing this? Tell us more about you. And
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. So I actually discovered, I was pretty psychic as a child, and I had a babysitter who gave me a deck of tarot cards.
Wow.
So I thought it was really cool when I was like 10. But then I got to like the 6th grade, and I started getting like the Spice Girls, and I got really cool. So I was like, that stuff is super weird.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it. I like denounced it out of my life. And then when I was 18, I met a mentor who taught me traditional astrology
Wow.
study. So I've been studying it for 12 years, and recently I've been doing it full-time for a career so that I can kind of be of service to people and facilitate sessions like this.
Yeah.
For anyone going through anything, no matter what your journey is. Astrology is for everyone, and there are very few things in the world that we can say that about.
well, I can't thank you enough. This was so precise and so amazing, like mind blowing to me. I got chills and like I've
It was
got to go
fun.
home. I know. I can't
Yeah.
thank you enough, Raquel. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank
for
you
coming.
so much.
Yes,
Thank you for
absolutely.
being you.
Of course.
Such a
Well,
good
good.
time.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Thanks for watching, you guys. And Dr. Barrett, if you want to let everyone know like your website or how to
Yeah, so
find you, your
you can check
Instagram.
out my Instagram, Dr. Daniel Barrett, Dr. Daniel Barrett, and you can check out our website, drdanielbarrett.com. And for my followers, if you guys are interested in the world's best astrologist right here, Rayquel
Thank
Reyes.
you. Yeah, my Instagram is at RaqRayLA. It's RAQREYLA, and my website is the same, raqrayla.com.
Cool. All right.
Yay.
Well, thanks, you guys. Thanks for tuning
Thanks,
in.
guys.
Have a wonderful night.
Bye.